Hi, I'm Chris Hartke, fourth generation farmer in south central Illinois. We're here today to look at a modern pig production system. Right now we're standing in the office / control room of a 2,400 head weaned finished barn. Behind me you can see the electrical system. Here is the control system, which controls the heat, the cooling, and the ventilation of each room of this barn. This barn has 2 rooms that hold 1,200 head of pigs. Over there is the other half of the barn. As you notice, the lights are blinking. We have those fan systems turned off because right now the barn is empty, has been washed, and is going to be disinfected before the next group of animals arrives. So we have turned it off, and it's kind of in the sleep rest mode where the barn is sitting empty waiting to be started up again. Over here on this side is the water system. This controls the water for each room for the pigs to drink. These blue things are medicators. When the pigs come in, they're under a lot of stress because they've been taken away from their mother and now they have to live on their own. So just like a human being will drink Gatorade after a stressful day, say if they're playing basketball or running a race, when the pigs come in, we give them electrolytes in the water, which are just like Gatorade for humans, and the animals drink it in their water to help them cope with the stress of being separated from their mom. Because when they come from their mom, they're about 21 to 24 days old, and they've only had milk their entire life. Once they come here, they have to learn to drink water and eat the feed that we feed them.
Now, what temperature do you have the barn set at when you first bring them in?
When the pigs first show up, the barn will be set at around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The control units have a computer system in them, and they are programmed that after the pigs come in, the first 2 to 3 days, they will stay at 80 degrees. And then after that, the temperature will slowly start to drop. Every day, the temperature will go down by a ½ degree to maybe 1 degree. And then when the pigs get to their full size, the temperature in the barn will only be at around 62 degrees because that is what they're most comfortable at. It's such a slow, gradual change that the pigs will never notice it, and it keeps them in their perfect comfort zone. Okay, we're now inside the barn, and this is the pen the pigs will be brought into to grow until they reach market size. As you can see, they have gates, concrete floor with the slats, and the feeders and the waters. Above me is the heaters that will provide the heat for the pigs. Now, the pigs will drink back here on the drinkers and use these to bite down on. When they bite down on this, the water will come out into their mouth like a drinking fountain. And they will get what they need to drink. When they're hungry, they will come up here and eat out of the feeders. There will be feed inside of the hopper here, and each pig will be able to come down here and eat whatever feed they would like. If they want to mix a little water with their feed to make it better to eat, they'll put their nose on the same kind of nipple here and squirt water into their feed. We'll see that at another barn that has pigs in it later. The feed is brought in from large tanks outside where it is delivered by semis. Each tank will hold 30 tons of feed, which is 60,000 pounds. A semi will hold 24 tons, so each tank will easily hold a semi-load. The first week that the pigs are here, they will eat 48,000 pounds of feed very easily. That is one semi-load. By the time they are reaching full size and market weight, the animals will consume around 3 semi-loads a week in this barn. The feed's delivered to the feeders through this pipe with an auger. And as it brings it in, it drops it down into the feeders. It's controlled on the end by a sensor and a computer that tells it when it needs feed so that the pigs never run out of feed. They always have feed in front of them. The pigs will also lay right here under the warm area where the heater is. It'll be 85 to 90 degrees and it will feel like laying in the sun when they lay under this heater. It puts out a radiant heat that warms their skin and the ground under them. back where the water is where the pigs will use the bathroom. Pigs are easily trained. They will sleep where it's warm and dry and where they eat, and they will go to the bathroom where it is cold and wet back there. So that they are actually very clean animals. They do not like to lay in manure like some people think, but they like to stay clean like people do. The air in this barn is brought in through the vents in the ceiling. When the fans on the end of the barn pull air out, air will come in through the vents to bring fresh air in so that the barn does not smell. When all of the vents are running and all of the fans kick on, they need to have more air come through, so the end wall of the barn down here will open up like it is right now to let a large amount of air come through.
Now, with them using the restroom down there and that, where does that manure all go?
Okay. Through the slots in the floor, the manure will go down into what's considered a pit. It's the same as a basement under a house. That pit will collect all of the waste, the manure from the pigs, into a large pool. Once a year, we will take this manure and have it pumped out into the fields, and they will inject it underground on top of the soil, and it will fertilize 100 acres of the field to grow corn and provide all of the fertilizer that corn needs to grow. And then that corn will come back and be fed to the pigs that are in the barn. Hi, we're back in the barn that was previously cleaned, and we just had a group of pigs arrive. These pigs have been here for only about 2 hours, and about 4 hours ago they were still with their mothers. They've come off the truck and they're in this barn. It's 82 degrees. They're nice and comfortable, warm and dry. What you'll see up there is a feeding mat. We put feed on there for the pigs to eat so that they can all eat at one time. And then they lay on there in the evening when it's cool outside and warm inside the barn. They're directly under the heater. That's the warmest spot in the barn, and that's considered more like the bedroom of the pigs. They will lay right there. We scatter feed on the feed mats so that the pigs are ready to eat and they don't have to compete with each other. And then once they get their appetites and they learn how to eat dry feed, they come over and start eating out of the main feeder. The feed that we give them on the mat is a special bagged feed. It's like a baby food. Just like a baby has to start out with a special diet when they learn how to eat solid food, these pigs are the same way, because up until today, all they've ever had to drink is milk. We put this feed in pans for the smallest pigs, and we'll put feed on the mats for the bigger pigs. Every morning we'll come through and check these pigs, get them up, run them around, make sure they're healthy and ready to go. And then we'll put some more feed on the mats like this so that they've got something to eat. And for the first week, we'll have to come in here twice a day, check them early in the morning and then in the afternoon before they lay down for the night. When they learn how to eat, we stop feeding them on the mats, and when they get big enough that they don't need the mats, they will just simply lay on the concrete right there, and then they will start to learn how to eat out of the feeder. Once they learn how to eat out of the feeder, we'll fill the other feeder up also, and they'll continue to eat.
So there's feed in this feeder already, so those who are wanting to go up, they can get from the feeder also?
Yes, right now there's feed, so they can climb right up here and nibble feed off of there without wasting any. And try not to give them too much feed. We let them get it out on their own, because that feed is a special diet that has different things in it. It smells almost like a sweet bread, and it tastes about like a sweet bread dough. If it sits out too long in here, it's just like anything else, it'll get stale, so we don't try to put very much out, just what the pigs can eat in a short period of time. As you can see back there, the pigs are drinking out of the waters. We've lowered them down so they figure out where they're at. Once they learn where they're at, we'll start to raise them up a little bit. Pigs are smart. They will sleep here where it's warm and keep it dry. They will eat here and keep it clean where they eat. Back there where it's colder and it's wetter, they will use that as their bathroom. They're easy to train. Yeah, it's nice. They sleep where it's warm and dry, and where it's cold and wet becomes their bathroom. That way we don't have to worry about them having a mess everywhere. Pigs are naturally a clean animal. They really don't like to be very dirty.
Now, do you have male and females in here running together?
These are male and female pigs mixed together. A lot of these pigs probably came from the same litters. They were pretty well all born within a 2 to 3 day period at the farm. The farm that they come from puts out about 2,500 pigs every week, just like this. And they do that every week. They don't take Christmas or Easter holidays. They have to have pigs coming all the time. These pigs right now are squealing a little bit because that's their natural instinct. When they would squeal a little, they would get the mother pig to lay down so they could nurse. Right now, the mother's not around, so they still feel the squeal when they want to eat. But eventually they figure out to go lay on that mat and have a bite to eat.
What breed of pig is this?
It's a mix. There is some landrace in there from the mother side. There is some Duroc and some large white, or Chester white. There may be some other breeds in there that I'm not aware of, but that's what I can see from when they bring them in. From the temperature in the barn to the cleanliness of the pens, everything we do is for the comfort of the pigs. Because if the pigs aren't comfortable, they won't stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, they won't grow. And if they don't grow, we won't make any money when we sell them because we didn't do a good job. So the better we can take care of the pigs, the better we can do as farmers. We're here in another barn, similar to the previous one that we were in. This barn is only 5 years old. The other barn that we showed you was 8 years old. This barn currently has pigs that are about 2/3 of the way through the growth cycle. As you can see, we're standing in the control room office of the barn, and it has a different controller, which is more modern than the one from the other barn. This one is actually a touch screen controlled by computers that runs the entire system. It's also hooked up to the internet, so anywhere that I'm at where I can use my cell phone with a connection, I can observe or change anything going on in this barn with this computer system. It has a complete display that shows every system, how it's functioning, and how it's been working for the last day or two. And if there is a problem, the computer will send me a text alert to come here immediately and check it out, or it will let me correct it with my phone. It controls each and every fan, the amount of water, the amount of feed, and everything that goes into this barn. You can hear the medicators that were on the other barn we showed you. These here are actually functioning right now. We've had a respiratory outbreak in this barn 3 days ago, and so we started a light dose of medication in the water, which will last another day, and then they will be over it. And this is the way we medicate 2,400 pigs at the same time without having to go through and give an individual dose to each and every animal. We're inside the barn that we were just talking about with the earlier control room, and this is what the pigs look like when they're about 2/3 of the way through their growth cycle. There are around 140 pigs in each one of these pens. Each pig in here weighs approximately 200 to 220 pounds. Within a month, they will almost all be gone to market. As you can see, they like to lay around. They get up early in the morning, just like a human would, and they like to have a big meal, and they eat. And then by about 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, they've satisfied their hunger, they lay down and they lounge around all day. And then in the afternoon, they will get up and eat once more for a large meal before they lay down for the evening. They come to the back here to get their water. Occasionally they go up for a snack, but most of the time they just simply lay around and do their thing. Now if you see that pig over there chewing on that chain,
Yep.
that's a toy we put in there because pigs get bored. But like a puppy or a small animal, they like to chew on things just to keep occupied. So pigs are pretty hard on things and they'll destroy most stuff. So we put a chain in there, and that's one of the things that they can't destroy, but they can continue to use and play with. So we have toys in there for them to play with. Also, we have a curly thing on the gate here that they play with. It's just something they like to do while they sit around.
Oh. What temperature is the barn currently at?
Right now, this barn is around 62 degrees. The fans on the far end are almost all on, and the doors on this end are letting in a large amount of fresh air to keep the air quality at the right temperature. The feed comes in dry, and then the pigs use it here by knocking it down into the feeder. And then down at the bottom, if they feel like adding some water to it, a little different consistency, they'll put their nose on this nipple and they'll push on it and add water to it to make a soup or a gruel that they can consume. The pigs will eat as much as they can eat that way without getting thirsty while they're eating. And that helps them grow better. So the more that they eat, the more that they grow. And the faster they grow, the quicker they get to market.
How much is a pig in this barn currently eating?
A pig in this barn right now is currently eating around 6 to 8 pounds of feed per day. And that's because the air temperature is about right. In the heat of the summer in July, when it gets really, really hot, they don't eat as much because they just don't feel like it. But right now, the air temperature is almost perfect for the size of the pigs that are in here.
In this pork diagram, you will see where we get our ham, pulled pork, ground pork, ribs, pork chops, and holiday ham from. Looking for a fun book to read to your students or children about pork? This book, called Pigs and Pork and the Story of Agriculture, is a wonderful book about pigs.